Well, good Friday morning, everybody. How are you doing? I saved my morning tea to have with you today. You know I am Disney obsessed. So today we're having Pocahontas tea. Well, it's really just Tetley, but in a Pocahontas cup. How is everyone? I hope this finds you well and healthy and doing great. We are fine here. If you are new here, this is the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband Paul and I are an early retirement couple that live in the state of New York, which is probably the second most expensive state to live in, aside from California, I believe it is. If we're not number one now, who knows? But we do it in a frugal lifestyle way, if that makes sense. We live purposefully, we are mindful of how we spend our money, and we enjoy life to the fullest. So today, what I want to talk about with you is being content while embarking on a frugal lifestyle. I'm assuming that if you are on my channel that you have some interest in frugality and living a frugal lifestyle, and that you, if not in the throes of it already, are going to be beginning it. So this will pertain to everybody. It's basically finding contentment while spending less money, which a lot of people can't seem to grasp that concept. Our state soon will be opening up in stages. Here in New York, we still have a really long way to go. And I continue to pray for everyone ill, our frontline workers, everybody out there. Because here in New York, we are still suffering greatly. We are still in shelter-in-place mode, so we're not opening anytime soon. But I know a lot of other states will soon be gradually opening up different businesses and recreation, things like that. Now, my husband said something this morning that was funny. He's behind the camera. When we talked about this morning, he was saying to me, you know, when these things open, I hope people don't rush out like a grand opening of a store or, you know, like Black Friday. Please go slow. Please go slow. When these businesses and different things start opening up, take your time heading back out there. Just, you know what I mean? That's just saying because I love you. You don't want to put yourself out there with the crowds and the masses again so soon. And getting back to the contentment and getting out there again is, I think we need to keep asking ourselves, what are we looking for outside of our homes and outside of ourselves that keeps us in this perpetual running? Now, I'm not talking about going to work, things like that, but this perpetual pursuit of buying. We can't purchase our health, we can't purchase our family, we can't purchase our attitudes, our beliefs. These are all things we need to cultivate ourselves. And when these states start reopening, stop yourself for a minute. Look around and realize how much stuff we have in the way of physical possessions. We need to create a beautiful environment that we are content being in our own home. We need to surround ourselves. What's in your house already? Obviously are things that brought you joy at some point. And that's what we need to cultivate. Those things that are already in our possession and that we have control over. We have to stop searching for that elusive high that spending can bring people. You're never, ever going to get it. It's going to be bigger and it's going to be better, and you're going to think this is going to do something that the other thing didn't. And a thing is a perfect word. And that is not the way it needs to be. We say, well, you know, since we've been in sheltering in place, as most of the country are, we need to shop. We need to get haircuts. We need to vacation. Excuse me, did anyone see my haircut blooper? Yeah, I needed a haircut. But you know what? We figured it out. And if you haven't seen it yet, you have to, because you'll see Emmy like you've never seen Emmy before. So in this time, I hope we've had some serious reflection. I know Paul and I have, and I hope you have too, about what we are able to live without during this time. It surprised me. It surprised me. I am surprised at how well I've done not being able to go to a thrift store. I have not missed it at all. I have decluttered, and I will have stuff to give to the thrift store or sell if and when we can do flea markets again. But I thought that would be really hard for me, and I'm doing okay. What has it been for you? Did you think you wouldn't survive without, but you've done great? I think we as a nation are pretty strong. If you look back at my older videos, you'll always see me say that 6 out of 7 days you will find us home. And that is the truth. Why? What are we doing here? Well, we're surrounding ourselves with things that bring us pleasure. So we're content to be at home. We surround ourselves with books we love to read, hobbies, music, gardening. Our home is our recreation, the things we do inside of it and outside of it. It's finding that contentment with what you have and with yourself, really. Contentment means actually being happy and being satisfied. And I think that's a word we all strive for, satisfaction. That means telling ourselves we are okay being without this physical item for right now, or maybe forever, but for right now, we're doing okay. During these times, have you actually found that contentment? Do you find yourself super restless? Figure out why. Figure out what you can do to try to have that contentment in your own home. I'm going to tell you one thing that really did surprise me about our nation, and I know you're going to laugh, but it was the paper hoarding. Like these people who went out and bought tons of toilet tissue and paper towels. And I'm thinking to myself, really, in a pandemic, the one thing you need to survive are paper products? I'm going to show you what we do, and I've showed this before. I don't have paper towels in the house. I don't have paper plates in the house. What we do is we use reusable napkins that we purchased at the thrift store. We have a bunch of them, and we use one a day. Paul uses one, I use one. And at the end of the day, they go into the washing machine. And then I have different ones for when company comes. So napkins are not an issue. I do have rag ones. These are ones that we wipe up the floor. If we spill something on a table, a counter, we use these. 2 separate ones, they go into the washing machine. Now, I do tell you, I do keep napkins. I've had the same big giant container of napkins in my house forever. What do I use them for? To dry meat. I am kind of weird about meat, raw meat on my napkins and cloths. That doesn't fly with me. So I do have a set that I have had forever, and I just use 1 or 2 if I make chicken and I have to dry it, or beef and you want to dry it so it doesn't steam instead of roast. Okay, so that I will do. When this easing into society starts again, start by buying 1 or 2 or 3 extra items every week when you go food shopping. And please make it things that are shelf stable, that your family enjoys eating. So in other words, I am not a huge bean eater. I'll eat beans, but they are not my go-to food. So I will have a couple of cans of beans, but that is not primarily what I would stock on my shelves. I have peanut butter. I have crackers, shelf stable food. This way, if you put 1 or 2 aside, every shopping trip, you know what? You'll always be a little bit ahead of the game, so that this fear of I've got to get to the store, we're going to run out, you've got that backup. And that would lead to a feeling of contentment as well. And also by doing that, by getting a little bit and putting it aside each time, we're also not taking away from others who didn't have the foresight to do that. You don't want to be the person, and I've said this before, pushing the carriage out, just overflowing now because you're in panic mode. We don't want to do that. So, and I want you to think for a minute. What truly makes you content? If you're on this frugal journey, then it's not possessions. So you need to find out what it is for you. For us, I believe, I know it's God, it's our family, it's the sharing of experience with our friends. It's all these beautiful things that money can't buy. And yes, buying stuff is wonderful and there's a time and place for everything, but it has to have its proper place. That contentment has got to be there first before we can get the frugal mindset truly under control. So I hope this was encouraging to you. I hope I explained it clearly. If you have any questions, please link them down below. So that is my little sharing for today. What I want to do now with you is share my recipe for my spaghetti pie. Paul and I made this the other night and I filmed it, and I am so glad I did. Excuse me. It came out amazing. It was wonderful. Super easy, super frugal because we don't even put meat in it. You can, I use ricotta. I'm going to tell you, that I do. So, but if you want to use cottage cheese, that will bring the price down even a little bit more. But the ricotta really adds so much, and it's only a cup of it. So you get a little container, and then you can save the other half for another recipe. So let's see how we make this. All right, so in this bowl, I have 2 tablespoons of butter, and I have about 7 ounces of spaghetti. And now what I'm going to do with that, now everybody has their own version of spaghetti pie. Most of them call for ground beef. We actually prefer it meatless. It's a great meatless meal, and it's great this way. I'm telling you, you won't even miss the meat. And I'm beating 2 eggs together. Now we're going to add this to the hot pasta. All right, let's just do that. Now it's got the 2 tablespoons of butter already in it. So I'm going to add this in, and we are going to mix this. Oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, and you would think the egg would cook, but for some reason it's kind of holds its own. And now also I'm going to add, like I said, everyone has their own way to do this, but this is how we do it. And I'm going to add about a cup of ricotta. Now I know some people use cottage cheese, and if that's how you want to do it, but I'm telling you, try it with ricotta. It costs a little bit more, but oh my goodness, is it good. You can see how thick it's becoming. Look at this. Now I have that pan, a pie pan, buttered. Now this will serve, Dixie's excited. This will serve about 6 people when it's done, especially if you add meat to it. I know this looks like a gloopy mess right now, but I guarantee you when it is done. So I'm gonna put this in here. I did butter the pan, the pie pan, and now we're gonna do this. And like I said, I know it looks a little gloopy, but you will be, if you've never had spaghetti pie, oh my goodness. Okay, now what I'm going to do is you need about, I would say roughly about 20 ounces of sauce. And then I just pour it on top like you're making a fun pie. And this is going to go right through it. All right, and you see how super easy and economical this is? Really, not expensive at all, and it's a good hearty meal. We'll eat this for a couple days for lunch and stuff. So there you go. And I don't put my mozzarella on until it's cooked for a while. On the top, I like to put it. So that's what we do. Super easy, super frugal. After I put the sauce, I just sprinkle a 1/3 cup of some really good Parmesan cheese on top. And that gives it such flavor. By all means, you could use like a 1/2 pound of ground beef, even some ground sausage. We're just going meatless tonight because we love it that way too. It still has a ton of flavor. Use your favorite pasta sauce. You can doctor it up, add some garlic and onion powder, whatever you want. That's all it is. Now I'm going to stick it in a 350 oven for about 20 minutes. And then I'll take it out, put some mozzarella on it, and put it back in for 5. So this is cooked for 20 minutes at 350. Now what I'm gonna do is put a 1/2 cup. Let's make this even more decadent than it already is. Of mozzarella right on top. I'm telling you, that's why I said you are not even gonna miss the ground beef on this. You're not, because it comes out so tasty. Okay, let's give this another 5 minutes. How yummy does this look? All right, now this would easily feed like 6 people, definitely. So I'm gonna cut this and let's see. I'm gonna bring my plate closer because Emmy has a habit. Oh, hold on everyone. Technical difficulty. No, the problem was it wasn't cut all the way through. Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at the inside of the pie and all that delicious cheesiness. You can see how moist it is. It's not dry. I'm telling you, you have to try that recipe. That's how good it is. My husband, I'm going to ask you to speak, Paul. What did you think of the spaghetti pie?
It was fantastic. It was better than a lasagna.
Yeah, it really was. There was something about it. For some reason,
the spaghetti made it was just different. It tasted so good.
It really was. Yeah.
What's the word? Garvone?
Yeah. In Italian, we have a word, garvone.
Yeah.
It means like you eat too much.
I was a gavone.
He was. But it was so good. I'm telling you, try it. Thank you so much. I hope this video was encouraging to you. You all mean the world to us. I thank you so much for the channel support, the watch time. Please give this a thumbs up. It helps me so much on YouTube. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. And I'm going to remind you again, please click the notification bell, hold it, and go to all. And then every time I make a video, you will be alerted. You know we love you. Leave me a comment. Tell me, what did you find surprising? How are you finding contentment through all this? I really want to know. I answer each and every one of your comments. So I thank you again. We wish you blessings, and you know we love you. Bye-bye.